And Scottie Nell Hughes is on the line with us, Chief Political Correspondent with USA Radio Networks. USARadionetworks.com is the website. The author of Roar, The New Conservative Woman Speaks Out. And her website, Scottie Nell Hughes, HUGHES.com, is the website, SCOTTIENELL. Hey, Scottie, welcome.
Hi, Tom. You also need to say I am your #1 conservative friend on the other side. I mean, I consider it to be a badge of honor that I get to keep coming on your show and you've not taken me off your roster yet, which means that I get to be that conservative, fair and balanced friend that you have to have. It's a law somewhere.
I have always personally thought very well of you, Scottie, and I'm pleased to be your friend. That you consider me your friend. Thank you. That said, it seems to me that particularly in these kind of perilous times, as we're seeing with this wannabe bomber in New York and New Jersey, that your guy Donald Trump is making the world a more dangerous place. Hillary Clinton has come out and said that he's giving aid and comfort to the enemy by trying to generalize a very small group of basically crazies and criminals as if they represent a religion, and talking about blocking everybody from that religion coming into this country. Is Donald Trump a traitor?
Absolutely not. It's absolute desperation and spin from the Hillary Clinton camp in any way to try to distract that this has anything to do with Trump. If anything, this has to do with the failed policies of this administration, to which she was a Secretary of State on, that created this vacuum, as you just said in your talking points, that gave us what we now know as the modern day ISIS. But to sit there and for Hillary Clinton or anybody in the Hillary Clinton camp to in any way spin this to where it is Trump's fault just shows how desperate they are, because what this is we have a falling out of intelligence. We have a falling out, once again, we didn't know this has a direct link to the refugee crisis that we're dealing with currently. And this has to do with the failed ability to take care of this terrorism problem over there. And we've allowed them to come in because we're politically correct in this society and not allow our law enforcement to actually do their job that has created it.
Them?
Which them?
We're allowing them to come in? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we are allowing them. We are allowing these we're allowing the terrorists to come into our country.
Okay, so here you've got a kid, you got a young man, he's 23 years old, right? This guy who just got arrested. Mm-hmm. And he's Muslim. And we don't know yet what his motives are. We don't yet know who he's connected to. But let's just speculate. I think it's probable that he's going to say that he tried to do this in the name of Islam. So here you got this 23-year-old young man, his brain isn't even fully developed. And he's wondering, does the United States hate me because I'm a Muslim? And George W. Bush was very clear. I mean, right after 9/11, one of the first major speeches that George W. Bush gave was in a mosque in New York City, just down the road from 9/11. And he said, we are not at war with Islam. Islam is not the enemy. Islam is a religion of peace. There are some crazy people who are twisting and perverting Islam, and they justify their evil criminal actions. I'm paraphrasing here, but you can find the speech. In fact, I'm sure you know about this speech. You might have been there. And he said, these people are perverting Islam. That's an entirely appropriate message. And if a young Muslim in this country were to hear that message, they would think, okay, he's talking about bin Laden and his crazy buddies. But when Donald Trump comes along and says, all Muslims, we need to ban all Muslims from the United States, and trashes the mother of a young Muslim man who died in the service of our country in Iraq, Mrs. Khan, and trashes her husband, who's, they're Americans. It seems to me that is giving aid and comfort to the Wahhabists, to the Isilists, to the Muslims who want to radicalize people in the United States.
Tom, with all due respect, I believe that you should be above the talking points from the Hillary Clinton camp, because that's not what Donald Trump said. Let's go back to the official, and I think we've had this debate. His official comments about the Muslim ban policy was all non-United States citizens who are trying to come into this country until we have our system fixed, a temporary ban to fix our vetting system. That ban would have already been over for 6 to 8 weeks. That's all he needed, just so we could figure out who is in this country. It was non-U.S. citizens.
Nice try, Scottie.
That's
nice
exactly
try.
what his words.
That's not what I heard him say. That's not what you heard him say. He said, we're going to ban all Muslims from the United States until we can figure out what the hell is going on. That's a verbatim quote.
That was his policy. That was the policy that was put
well,
forward
after
from him.
that,
In his
maybe
campaign, that is
maybe
what
they
he
eventually
meant.
got to that, but even eventually getting to that is still it's conflating Muslims and Islam with some crazy people. I mean, this would be like
You mean a
England
basket of
after Eric
deplorables,
Rudolph
like what she called?
blew up the in Atlanta the Olympics. It would be like Great Britain saying, you know, those crazy Christian terrorists in the United States, we're gonna ban all Christians from the United States from coming into the UK because that man just killed a woman and bombed 2 abortion clinics and bombed a lesbian bar and then bombed the Olympics in the name of Jesus.
But did that in the United States, in our own country. That would be like the United States saying we're not going to allow Christians on our, not another country coming in. But here's the thing, Thom. That was not what his policy was. That was not what his point is. And the reason why we're dealing with this issue today, if you look at what happened in New York and New Jersey, is because law enforcement has been politically, basically handcuffed where they can't go into these communities, where they're having to be politically correct, and they're not being allowed to do their jobs. They're not able to find the
following
intel.
the Constitution being politically correct?
Well, unfortunately, right, if you talk to these law enforcement officers, they know exactly. There's a reason why post 9/11 we didn't have these little things when Rudy Giuliani was mayor, because he was able to sit there and allow.
He was willing to violate the Constitution.
Well, he was willing to keep our families safe, and I don't think it was a violation of the Constitution, unlike what we have now. And
That's
when it comes down to it, Thom, my
keep
family
me safe.
is first
I don't care
in
about the
America.
Constitution. Seriously?
No, keep America safe. Keep Americans safe. You look at what happened in Minneapolis. You're looking at a boy that came over here as a small child, as a refugee 15 years ago. And now he goes in, as my family would be walking into a mall just like yours in Minneapolis, as they were asked, are you a Muslim? If you said no, they were knifed. In our country, they were
Scottie,
stabbed, Thom.
You're going to find
right
crazy people in every religion.
But
Donald
this is
Trump
over
is
and over.
stirring up
We're
the crazy
having this
people.
more and more in our country. Boston bombers. What happened in San Bernardino? We're finding this. What happened down in Orlando? It's this. There's some
those
things that are kind of.
Do you really think, Scottie, that if we had not invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, that any of those folks would be having any of these issues?
Well, that's the thing is, this is where you and I have some ground. I think that we handled the Middle East. We've made this problem worse. This current administration, their foreign policy, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Of course it is. It couldn't be George W. Bush, right? It couldn't be.
Well, no, I'll put trouble on Bush on this part. I think that, like I said, he started this vacuum, and unfortunately, Obama and Hillary just blew it up even more, and now we're dealing with it on our soil.
All right. I'll give you the last word. Scottie Nell Hughes, Chief Political Correspondent to USA Radio Networks, usaradionetworks.com, author of Roar, The New Conservative Woman Speaks Out. Scottie, nice having you with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Thom.
My friend Scottie. Well, thank you. We'll be back.